Hello. 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 Mr. 5 Points, how's your week been, sir?
It was interesting. It was my dad's 81st birthday today. So we went graveside for the first time in the military cemetery. Y'all don't have to say, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Like it's been 2 weeks, y'all. It's fine. But yeah, he would have turned 81 today. But yeah, just hanging in there. And yeah, that's about it. I'm pretty tired today. I stayed up at my parents for the last 3 days, but I'm here, I'm queer, and I will not disappear. So I got it.
Ain't that the truth? So get used to it.
What about you, dude? You're just quiet as shit. You have nothing to say to that? Like,
I'm just sitting there just thinking, like, it's just a lot to take in, especially with your dad going like that. Happening that or in close to his birthday too. So
yeah, it's what's funny is like a lot of people like I love your sympathy. Don't get me wrong. Like I love your condolences. You are my family. Like I love all of you. But at the same time, I'm like, you don't have to feel sorry. Like I don't want to bring you down because like I'm actually very much at peace with it. My dad did it right. So I'm not upset. I'm not really upset.
Of course. I think the thing too is like he was in a lot of pain and now he's free of it. So
I don't know if he was in pain. He just, like he wasn't him. So it was, I think he's just in a better place.
It could be a different kind of pain, not like, physical pain, but like mental pain.
Yeah. Or he might have been in some state of bliss and it wasn't as bad, then I don't know. I guess we all find out. Shit. Fuck. I don't know. I'm not trying to think about that. I'm trying to be the best person that I can be and sleep with as many women as possible.
That's definitely your goal.
I'm just kidding about that second part. Actually, I'm in between. Like I really would just like a girlfriend, but she's got to check off a lot of the boxes.
Well, let's go over your perfect girlfriend. What would that be?
This is a sports show, but I actually made a list.
You made a list?
I did. Because like my friend Lauren, she's a great friend of mine. She was like, you need to write all the things down that you want. All right. Local, fit, cute and attractive, funny, overtly sexual, reliable / trustworthy, not crazy, and confident. And that's it. That's all I need. But fit is very important. Like for me, like a lot of people, some people are boobs guys, some people are ass guys. Like I am an ab guy. Like I want a girl with abs. That's all I care about. Like
see, like me, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, to me, if she has abs, that means that she takes care of the rest of her body, right? Like that's kind of like that's the ultimate show of like I give a shit about my fitness, and so that's my number. Like my ex-wife has an 8-pack. All the girls I've dated, all of them have 6-packs. I have a 6-pack. That's what I want. So I don't really care about huge boobs. Like I like boobs. I like butts, but that's the feature I'm going for. And at age 47, that's kind of hard to find.
The thing too is like I'm not much of an ab guy. I feel like that's not really my type. I'm more like legs and thighs and butt. That's my kind of thing.
Right. Don't get me wrong, Patrick. I
that corner of the
personality. Yeah, like I need a girl who's smart and who's intellectually stimulating. Like this is gonna sound really. I'm not gonna say it. So
good idea.
Yeah, this would have like Nick would isolate that and make me feel stupid. So
it'll come out eventually, knowing you. Red Rhino 49 for 5 bones. Introducing the new Fanatics MLB pants, where you can see your favorite players' junk on the field. Can't wait to see what they'll do with the NHL. Well, I'm waiting for the moment where someone in like a kangaroo court is forced to wear like a leopard thong, and we see it on the field.
Fanatics, for some reason, has taken over, and they just marketed their way into the front. Like, there's always room for a competitor that gains momentum. Look at Under Armour. They came out of nowhere 20 some odd years go to compete with Nike with basically one product. Reebok did the same thing, and now Fanatics is here. So, I mean, good on them for marketing, but their shit is cheap.
They produce like with cheap materials. That's your problem. And like most of the baseball uniforms, they're downgrades, especially in the fonts. It's just like, the fabric is, it just feels like it's not like stitched on. It just feels like it's like 3D printed. It's like the uniforms we have for the Melonheads. It's like that quality.
Yeah,
which those aren't bad uniforms, but
no, but
I
they're
wouldn't
not
call them Major League.
Right, yeah, like Major League is like raised letters, like the double stitching around the letters, like just fire. Like to me, when you get to that level, like you're supposed to feel like your uniform is something that not anyone can just have, or if you buy it, you feel like you spent enough money that it's not something everyone can own either. Like it's a $300 jersey for a reason, and you can smell the quality on it. And Fanatics just isn't like that. It's
nope. And they charge the same prices.
They're the Hondas of jerseys when you want a Mercedes or a BMW. Anyways, before we get into more super chats, let's talk about the combine. I want you to think about the greatest combine moments in the history. Like, what is the top 5 iconic moments? Y'all in the chat can say it, of what you thought were the greatest things to ever happen.
I mean, honestly, easy one right there. Mike Mamula. That dude jumped up from like a 3rd, 4th round pick to a top 5, top 10 with that combine. It's the reason why everyone's scared of combines nowadays.
Yeah, well, he actually was the first athlete to train for the combine, not train for the NFL, but train for the combine. Now,
it worked for him, actually. Probably got him more money.
Now, the chat is already saying this. You guys beat me to the punches. Chris Jones's giant dick falling out as he ran the 40. That was the funniest.
Yeah, I would say.
Could you imagine your cock is so fucking big that you're running and you would have to tie that thing down with some zip ties to your leg to keep it from popping out? Hey. And that's what happened. It's just like a fucking elephant trying to grab a fucking potato, and like that was a great moment. And
I mean, honestly, it probably would have cut 1/10 of a 40 time if his penis were smaller. I mean, Chris Jones did all right for himself. I mean, you got to go DK Metcalf. Like he was like the ultimate combine warrior.
Yeah. John Ross running the 4.2 point.
Yep, John Ross.
What was his 40 time?
I think it was 4.2. I think it was a flat 4.2.
Oh, it was 4.21. And that's the fastest 40 time.
Yep.
And he came up lame too. He didn't. Fastest combine 40 is 4.22 by John Ross. That is outrageous speed. And he never did shit in the NFL.
Well, because he had like flatline speed. He didn't have like agility, and he couldn't really forge a role in the NFL. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like Odell Beckham had like 4.5 speed, something like that, but he could cut on a freaking dime. And that's what'll make you a better football player. You know, okay, John Ross had nine TDs in a season. Thank you, Sky Guy. But other than that, there was the Tom Brady combine footage, which is hilarious. Him being a fat, doughy kid out of Michigan is an all-time combine moment. I thought of another one.
I mean, Bill Belichick with the binoculars. I don't know. Was that combine?
I'm
eating
sure.
The popcorn. I think that was combine.
Who else had a? RG3's 40 at the combine was absurd for a quarterback to run that fast. Just make sure Chris Jones doesn't slam it in the car door. Are we going to get demonetized?
Oh, we've already been demonetized, dude. You were talking about dating stuff already.
Talking about a dick.
I slam my penis in the car door. You slam your penis in the car door.
Viewing New Book is saying mayo in the coffee. That was a good one. Oh, who was it that he got asked that whether his mom was a prostitute?
Shoot, I forget.
It was Des Bryant, I think. I think it was Des Bryant. They asked him if his mom was a prostitute, and he was like, "What the fuck? Who scored like an outrageously low? I think Vince Young scored like a 6.
Yeah,
on
Vince
the
Young on the
Wonderlic.
Wonderlic,
Eli
which turned out
Apple.
to be true.
Yeah, that was accurate. Like, come on. Henry.
I mean,
Ruggs.
dude, that dude got broke by spending like $50,000 a meal at the Cheesecake Factory.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, this cup is dirty as fuck. It's got like jizz stains on it. Holy fuck! Look at that. It's got like blood on it. It's protein shake, everyone.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Which is
protein.
also another word for.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're doing a lot of that stuff. That's protein for you. You would do that. Next question. Christopher Bodden. Hey, 5 and Tree. Hope you're doing well. Please check on Perna. My Chiefs have made his hair gray and don't know what will happen when we three-peat.
Oh.
Yep, there's some news coming. Brett Veach
another...
and Andy Reid are looking to extend. Jerry Sneed, he is looked to be rumored at the franchise tag. Chris Jones available as well. So
there's never been a three-peat, has there?
No, I don't believe so.
No.
There have been three-peats in hockey, three-peats in basketball, three-peats in baseball, but not in football.
Nope. What's the longest streak in hockey? It's like a 5-peat, 6-peat, something like the Canadians won like a fuck.
Canadians won like 5, like back in the 70s.
Yeah. Baseball,
probably
like
the Yankees.
Maybe did a 4-peat
in
or
the
something.
20s.
Yeah. Never in football. There's been
basketball's had a bunch in like
championship.
Boston Celtics, LA Lakers.
College football did. Nebraska went back to back. Basketball's done a bunch.
College basketball, UCLA.
Yeah, the NBA's done
70s.
it. Yeah, so somebody's saying Stibbs is saying the Yankees won 5 straight from 48 to 53. Yeah, the Patriots had a chance.
The 20s.
Patriots went back to back. Bulls did 2 3-peats. The Lakers did a 3-peat. Yeah, it's more common in the NBA because once you put together like a super team, like they're going to be better, so much better. It's so much harder to stop and play defense in.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, if the NBA, like, there's no reason to play defense because you're just going to get fouled to shit. Mm-hmm. Justin Ziegler, Tree, what's your next legacy of failure video on, and when should I expect it? My suggestions would be the Saints or revisiting the Lions or comparing the Pistons and Lions like the Bills and Sabres. Pistons might be an interesting one because
they have fallen on hard times.
Oh, dude, they are trash.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still pissed at the Raptors for ruining everything.
Yeah, I know. What was the losing streak to?
29
games. Jeez. Pathetic.
Wait, 27, I think.
Or they're tanking so
the
hard.
record.
Yeah,
they're not tanking though. That's the thing.
Cade, what's his name? Cade.
It's 8 and 49, so they have a chance to beat the Charlotte Bobcats for worst record.
God, how the Bobcats? The Bobcats are secretly awful, and so are the Wizards. The Wizards are also awful too.
Yeah, the Wizards. Jordan Poole just got benched.
No. And then as soon as I put him to get less than 12 points on my prize pick projections, he got 14 points.
And the Pistons are pissed because they missed a foul on the Knicks, and I'm like, dude, come on. Come on. Nobody cares about the Detroit Pistons. You're going to get like the 5th overall pick in the lottery and you will be fine. Just calm down. And Jared Oberfeld, Tree, you can put it away. I already know what you slammed in the car door. Oh, wait, that is the jersey. Even if it's time for baseball, it's also time to hear the name Angel Hernandez. God help us.
We got to do a baseball preview here coming up. Like as soon
in the
as
next couple weeks.
Yeah.
But there's just still we're waiting on a few other things to happen. Like Blake Snell's still a free agent. Cody Bellinger just got signed to a 3-year bridge deal, which is like 2 opt-outs.
Trevor Bauer,
Jordan Montgomery, Bauer's out there. Matt Chapman's still out there. A few other guys are still out there too.
I'm surprised Chapman's out there, to be honest.
I think
but these guys are they're Boris clients and they're holding out. Not Bauer.
Well, they want Boris is trying to hold out for the money. I mean, they're training, they'll be ready. It's just
of course. That guy knows what he's doing. He knows what his clients are worth. And sometimes he overplays his hand, don't get me wrong. But for the most part, he's made billions doing what he does, which is being a tough son of a bitch and knowing what he's worth, holding out. What's up, Chris Cushman? What's up, Tree and 5?
Mainly we're just waiting. What's up, man? And Caleb Corson took my brother and nephews to the Pens Flyers game. Ooh, that was a game. That was a fun game. Very old school game. Oldest nephew told his Flyers fan of a dad, Sydney is the Flyers daddy. Also, I wanted to scream after we gave up that shorthanded goal. Go Pens. Well, that's Erik Karlsson for you. He's just sitting there just drifting the whole time on that shorthanded goal. Like the Karlsson giveth and the Karlsson taketh. And that's Karlsson. That's just how he is. That's always how he's been.
Yeah, he's an offensive-minded defensive player. I mean, he's smooth as shit. Don't get me wrong, but
he's never been known for his defense. He's never been known.
But he's won the Norris Trophy like so many times. But it's the Norris is more for just being an all-around defender, right? It's not for being.
Oh, dude, Erik Karlsson had over 100 points last year. That's why he won it.
Right. But it's like Adam Fox won a Norris, but he's a good two-way player, but. But it's most outstanding defenseman. It's not most defensive defenseman.
Oh, of course not. If it were defensive defenseman, Karlsson would not win that one.
Right. Drew Doughty would win it like every right. You know what I'm saying? Like who would you say
be
is
like
the most
a Cale Makar or best defensive defenseman? You might be looking at somebody like
who's the most defensive defenseman?
Well, you'd probably be looking at like a third pairing guy. You'd probably be looking at like Yanni Hakanpää or
I remember
looking at not John Carlson, but Marc-Edouard Vlasic in the day, like he would have won that award a lot.
Because everyone kind of has a thing, right? Like Trouba's shtick is hitting people. He's not as skilled stick wise. And if you look at someone, that just I would say like Brett Burns for a while was a very defensive defenseman, even though he could.
Brent Burns? No, the dude was a pure winger. He was put on the wing for a couple years.
But he played defense. Scott Stevens, that's a good.
Yeah, Scott Stevens would be. Ken Danico would have been a good one too.
Gosh, who's this? Just a
Lidstrom
defender.
Lidstrom.
You know who was active was Antron Strawman. Was a very defensive.
Strawman wasn't bad, but he put up points too. He's more of a two-way guy. He wasn't.
I'm just talking to someone that's just a pure defenseman. Like they're just
Hal Gill and Rob Scuderi. Those are your two guys, pure defensemen.
Well, Hal Gill didn't fucking fight anyone.
Well, Hal Gill was just like a statue, but like people loved him in Pittsburgh. It's like, and then he just tried to just deck people.
Who's that guy on the Predators?
Roman Josi.
Yossi's a straight defender.
Yossi's just a pure Norris candidate.
He's a hockey player. Pronger's a good one. I love what the chat's bringing here. All right, keep reading. Sorry.
Yeah, buddy. Christopher Bodden, 5, at least you can pull women. All I get are users. Been single for 5 years. I'm moving to Kalispell, Montana, and hopefully I'll find a good woman. I'm 35 and want kids soon. Last 2 girls used me for money or games, dude. I'm sorry, brother. That fucking sucks.
Dude, I have the most foolproof way for getting a woman. It's called lowering your standards. You can just lower your standards down to the floor and you will get a woman just like that. Let's go.
I mean, well, it depends, man.
Just have no requirements whatsoever.
Ooh. Men that call Jason Thompson, including the every Fanatics jersey nipple clamps. Ooh. Kinky. Very kinky. And David Crones for 25. I know you want to tackle in the draft, but I'm willing to give Neil one more year with a new O-line coach. Also, if we can't trade up for a QB, I'd take Malik Neighbors. What do you think the Steelers may need, Archery? I would say, well, it depends how they want to go. Are they going to try to go quarterback? Are they going to try keep doing the same thing? I would say probably left tackle if you want to do probably move Broderick Jones over there again. And then I would say center is probably a big need. I would say corner also to go like with a cornerback 2. Inside linebacker, easily a big need. And it also depends.
What would you think?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. What would the boldest move that you could actually see happen could the Steelers do?
Trade up for somebody like
a quarterback.
I don't know about a quarterback. I mean, it depends which quarterback we're talking about. Are they going to trade up for like J.J. McCarthy or something? Because they're not going to trade up for any of the top 3 guys. They don't have enough capital. I would say probably, if they're looking ideal bold move, would probably be trading for Justin Herbert, but I doubt they're going to do that. But Justin Herbert ain't going anywhere.
Wow. Not with Harbaugh coming in. Like Harbaugh, the reason he was hired was to coach Herbert.
Honestly, if you wanted safe bets to do, it'd probably be signing Russell Wilson as a veteran to push Pickett. Because he still has value as a low end starter.
That's what Perna thinks is going to happen. Like
I think so too. I mean, Ryan Tannehill is kind of like the same thing. Like they want like a vet.
Tannehill's just not gonna take you anywhere.
Of course not. He's a vet to push Pickett. That's how it's always been.
I will say this: Tannehill would fit with you well because you're so run heavy. Anyways, you're going to give the ball to Najee a lot, but that just doesn't work. It hasn't gotten a team.
It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all smoke and mirrors.
You look at who's winning Super Bowls. It's teams like the Chiefs that have a dynamic quarterback,
and they have a running game that they can bounce back on if need be. Like the teams that win Super Bowls are throw first, run second. And that's the problem. You like Patrick Mahomes is a throw first, run second quarterback.
Yeah, even Tampa,
run first, throw second quarterbacks. They haven't really succeeded. Like the ones that have made the Super Bowl. Colin Kaepernick. But Kaepernick had a good arm at the time. I would say who else has really made it? Like Cam Newton was a throw first quarterback. I feel like.
Yeah. That was a good year for them, but they came up short. Right.
Dhruv Kaushal. A funny fact is that the last white quarterback player to start at cornerback in the NFL was a guy named Kevin Casefaharn back in 2002. Ooh, Kevin Casefaharn. I remember him.
You don't consider – well, I guess Seahorn.
Seahorn was, I think, a little earlier, I think.
Yeah.
Casefaharn, I think, was younger.
How come white guys don't play corner, huh?
There's an Iowa corner that's white coming in the draft. Rumored first-round pick.
They'll convert him to wide receiver.
Convert to safety. Justin Ziegler. Technically, there is a three-peat in the NFL. The 67 Packers. 65, 66, 67 all won the NFL championship. It was 66 and 67 that were the first Super Bowl, so technically 1965 is a championship.
I mean, that's close, but when we look at the Super Bowl era, we have not had 3 consecutive Super Bowl winners, but I will give that a asterisk.
If you're looking at NFL championships, maybe. James Amadei, who's the best conference in major college basketball, the SEC, the Big 10, or the Big 12? I'm excited for March Madness. Ooh, I mean, I'm biased. I always go with like Big East or ACC, but
I haven't really followed college basketball this year. You know, I always watch the tournament. I love the tournament,
of course.
But like I don't do any research. I fill out a bracket the day of.
I think that's what we all do. Like we'll probably fill out a bracket for dumpster fire and then we'll be garbage.
Yeah. I mean, I used to pay attention when we had an office pool and I was trying to win like, you know, an extra $60 so that I could take myself out to lunch. But
what kind of lunch are you getting for $60? Are you buying like a steak at Ruth's Chris?
No, I would have multiple. So this was I worked in an office so long ago. Like I $60 would be like 6 weeks of Panda Express. Yeah, you know. It'd be, you know, sometimes when you work at a shit job and you haven't had a raise in 2 years, like your idea of a raise is winning the fucking office pool. Anyway,
ain't that the damn truth? Oh boy. And well, we got to talk about the combine now, don't we? Like, well, I mean, I know a few of our friends are down there this year. I think Grossi's down there. I think Scoots is down there.
Scoots is down there. Grossi's down there. That means Barks is probably there. Like Grossi is starting to do things now
because he has the NFL's backing, man. People love that dude. And I don't blame him.
He met Goodell. He needs to put in a good word for us. He's like, hey, there's this asshole name.
Oh, fuck no. Dude, no. What's happening is he's going to get a cease and desist. That's what happens.
He's going to be like, oh, yeah, I know about that guy. Can you tell him that we're coming for his ass? That's what's going to happen. Now, Brett Coleman, too, he's making an inroads. Like, you know, they're starting
Coleman
to grasp
works with the Chargers. That's
the thing.
And with my style, I'm never going to actually get in with the NFL. I never planned on that. So I'm not really that worried.
Wouldn't it be nice if we did, though?
Nah. Nah.
I mean, you don't want to win the NFL Fan of the Year. And now, presenting to the stage, the saltiest fan of the year, Steve.
So no. What's actually happening is that the NFL Fan of the Year, like Cleveland's going to give it to me or some shit like that.
For a series on Days of Our Steelers, cultivating the most Yinzer attitude, it is NFL Fan of the Year.
And they'll have me on Browns uniform, and I'll feel like
Steve
so unclean.
Stefanski.
That should be my name now, Steve Stefanski.
It's Kevin Stefanski. Did you hear that story? Tom said that the dude didn't even know his lines, the actor, before
he was probably there just getting paid a couple bucks with a gift basket.
Yeah.
I mean,
Joel Crow says Kevin Linkowski. I know that guy. I've heard of him. I think we just got a snooper.
We did. NB Talent. 5 Bones. What do you think Greg Roman and Jim will do to the roster, and how long do you think it will take to implement 2 years? I would say, I mean, they have a lot of veterans to work with. I mean, what do you do with Khalil Mack? What do you do with Keenan Allen? Eckler's probably gone. Bosa's rumored to be traded.
Bosa, you got to keep Bosa.
I mean, Mike Williams might be a cut.
Gosh, Mike Williams been so productive too. Like, how can you even think about
Mike Williams was injured all last year, so that's.
But in his career, he's been fucking productive when he's out there.
He's had 2 years. Like, he took a little bit to blossom, and then last year he had that major injury, and that just cut him. So it's either him or Keenan Allen. And I mean, Quentin Johnston you can't cut, and Quentin Johnston's been really underwhelming.
Yeah, cap cuts. But you know what? Yeah. I think Harbaugh is going to try to make it work.
It's going to be a bit of like a retool at best, because you're going to need about a year or two to really reforge everything. Because, I mean, they kind of screwed up in a lot of areas. Like, a lot of moves blew up in their face. They're still paying the dead cap for J.C. Jackson for a couple years. And, yeah.
All right. After this, read that super chat.
Christopher Breckner. Next clickbait punishment review, Madame Web. Isn't that movie terrible or something? Like, it's bombed?
I don't know. I haven't even heard of it. When's the last time you saw a movie in the theater?
Barbie last year.
I haven't even seen Barbie.
Yeah,
I'm a Barbie girl.
I mean, I said this
world.
Well, they have a remake now with like Nicki Minaj singing it or something.
What?
Yeah, it's like it's pretty bad.
V-Man 29397 Tree. What do I see first in my lifetime? My beloved Jets winning the Super Bowl, or my ancestral homeland, Puerto Rico, free from the United States? What? Wait a minute. What? I thought Puerto Rico wanted to become a state.
Yeah, Puerto Rico ain't leaving.
So it's either right? You either secede or you become a state. It's one of the two, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that Puerto Rico doesn't want to become a state. Anyways, I don't know. All right, what we're going to do after this, now that we're done with the Supers, we're going to go through every NFL team and quickly just say what they should do, like what their one move should be this offseason.
Exactly. Let's go. Let's do this.
Okay. Buffalo Bills, one move.
Buffalo Bills, one move. Pray. Block.
They need secondary help.
In reality, it's going to be corner, because Tre'Davious White, you don't know, is going to be back. Kyer Elam's had trouble.
Yeah.
Apparently, we're on the wrong side of the screen, so you are right. Let's switcheroo this.
Oh, what? Why are we on the? Okay.
Whoop. There we go.
Now I feel weird. It feels like when you take a selfie and then it flips around, and you take a selfie and you're like, I look fucking good, and then it flips around, and you're like, I look like shit. What the fuck?
Man. I always look like shit. Let's be real.
Oh, V-Man said 67% voted against the pro-statehood party. Okay.
Interesting.
So maybe they don't want to become a state. Miami Dolphins. What do the Dolphins do?
Dolphins need offensive line help. They need, I would say, questions about cornerback too. Xavier Howard is now gone, so you're going to need a CB2.
The Patriots need everything, but they're probably a quarterback.
I would say.
And they need a quarterback. They're going to take one of the big three.
Well, of course. It's going to be either Drake May or Jaden Daniels.
And the Jets. Ooh, this one's interesting. The Jets actually are solid. I would say the Jets might take a wide receiver. You know, if they could get Marvin Harrison Jr., but maybe, because they need weapons for Aaron Rodgers. They don't have as many problems,
Yeah.
It looked.
I would say maybe a developmental quarterback in the second or third round, see what he does. Because, I mean, Zach Wilson's probably gone.
Yeah.
I would say offensive line would be your biggest issue, too. I mean, it's bad. Because Elijah Vera Tucker, good player, can't stay healthy. Mekhi Becton has had huge questions.
Sorry, my headphone.
I mean, I mainly say that, but that would be mine, offensive line.
Yeah, okay. Baltimore Ravens, a quarterback.
Ooh, I would say
They already have a running back.
Well, their running backs keep getting injured. That's the problem.
The Ravens need maybe some more O-line or maybe some more weapons for Lamar,
I would probably say it depends on how they feel about their wide receivers. I mean, Zay Flowers is pretty good.
Yeah. Bengals. Boy, the Bengals need offensive line.
Well, the problem is I don't know if they need offensive line. They might need safety help because they lost a few guys too.
Yeah. The Browns don't need much. I mean, they
might need running back if they cut Nick Chubb.
Yeah. Well, Chubb coming back from that injury is very unlikely. So yeah, they probably need a running back.
He might be cut. He might be a cap casualty.
And unfortunately, what they need is a lot of rehab. I mean, they've got great players in the secondary, but they were going to need depth. Okay,
and
what is
tackles?
Steelers?
They need to recover there. They need a lot of stuff there. I would say Steelers, more or less, I would say their biggest issue right now is center because it was bad last year.
Well, that's pretty bad.
Inside linebacker would be number 2.
The Houston Texans, that's interesting right there.
They're probably defense. I would probably go on the defensive side of the ball. I'd probably load up on my inside linebackers, corners.
Yeah, they have weapons.
Second for Jimmy Ward. And I would feel like offensive line would be an issue too because they were very bare bones. They dealt with a lot of injuries.
Colts need a lot. They have a quarterback in AR.
Colts would probably be, I would probably say inside linebacker to replace Shaq Leonard or secondary help.
This is another one. The Jaguars, they're a mess.
Jags need defensive help. They need help on, pretty much anywhere except Josh Allen.
Yeah. Okay. The Titans need a quarterback, right?
Titans need a quarterback. They need just bodies, I would say.
Right. I don't think
offensive line. Offensive line is a big need too. The only one that's pretty good is Skoronski. Like the rest of their offensive line is pretty bad.
Yeah. The Broncos. Ooh, they got to get rid of Wilson somehow. They have to add by subtracting.
It's going to be quarterback. It's going to be probably depends on how much of like a dead cap hit they have to take. Well, they could be cutting defensive bodies where they need to replace as well.
The Chiefs. This hurts, but they are
wide receiver.
They're going to add another wide receiver. They could sign, like a big free agent. They could, with the increased cap space, they could go out and get another weapon and be even more dangerous.
Perna strikes me more as an inside slot guy.
Perna played QB in high school, according to him.
Oh, bad. Interesting.
Or 8th grade. Yeah, he's actually pretty fast.
Oh, he looks like he's very nimble and quick.
The Raiders. What do the Raiders do?
Raiders, I would say they need a quarterback. Aiden O'Connell ain't it.
AOC is not.
And they also need a running back because Josh Jacobs might be gone.
Yeah. And then the Chargers, we just talked about this. They probably need a running back, right? Eckler's gone.
Running back, I would say inside linebacker, defense, corner. Pretty much anything you can get your hands on. Got a few more super chats, though. Yes. Kaiser and Gilroy. Been playing a season of the Tecmo Super Bowl Genesis 2023 hack, and I made a Super Bowl as the New York Derps. My opponent, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even during the offseason, the bullshit is real.
Hey, what a dream matchup.
Oh, we'd be doing a Super Bowl reaction the whole time. That would be.
That's what I love. That's what I love about video games is they're like an alternate reality that only you know about, but then you try to tell your friends about it. Then they're like, I don't care.
It's like, I got the Steelers to the Super Bowl. Yeah, sure.
All right. It's everything.
John Ratcliffe, 3-5. I'm under the firm belief that incoherent drug addicts I see daily in the facility could run the Jets better than the Johnsons. Thoughts? Yeah, I'd say so.
They landed Aaron Rodgers, like
they got his baggage. Like every person they brought in to appease Aaron Rodgers has either been terrible or has been cut.
Hackett.
Hackett. Alan Lazard was a healthy scratch. McCole Hardman was traded. He's gone.
Yeah, he won the
Amos
Super Bowl.
is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's bad.
All right, what are the Cowboys? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, Christopher Brickner. Madame Web is horrible. Gives you a taste villain's dialogue. Doesn't match his lips. The whole film logic is so bad that Gase's play calling makes more sense. And this is Marvel, I think, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's some Marvel movie. Yeah,
the Marvel movies
gotten
lost
bad.
their charm.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is, like, after Endgame, they should have just ended it there, but they're trying to go to the cash.
Well, they're trying to start back up, Remember, Endgame
the problem
was
is
20 years of adding shit up. So,
like, the only one that really has done anything was that Spider-Man movie where they brought in all three universes. Like, they're trying the multiverse stuff, and nobody's buying it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. The New York Giants. What do the Giants do? In your opinion?
They need plungers. And they
need
also need a really bad draft so I can laugh at you again.
They need a tackle, and they need to move Neal over to guard and take some pressure off him. And that could really solidify the line. So Joe Alt.
I think Joe Alt might be a Titan.
Yeah. Philadelphia Eagles.
The Eagles need corners. They need secondary. They need inside linebackers. They need defense.
Gosh, defense was terrible. Yeah. And then the Commanders need a quarterback.
Yep. The Commies definitely need a quarterback, and they need a new stadium and a prayer.
And they got the new owner. So,
yep.
All right. The Bears. What do the Bears do? Oh, boy.
Well, the Bears, I think quarterback's probably your biggest issue right now, followed by probably a second wideout. And then I would say your next biggest issue would probably be corner if you can't sign Jalen Johnson.
I think you got to move on from Fields, right? Like you got to.
I mean, it's time.
Oh, he does enough to show you potential.
But he's like a low-end starter. As I said, he reminds me a lot of Daniel Jones.
So now he's going to go off because every time we hate on a player, they always go off.
I mean, dude, we hated on Mitch Trubisky for a long time.
Yeah, we were right about that. We also laughed really hard when Baker Mayfield was drafted, but he did have a pretty good
Baker
season.
had like issues though. That's the problem.
We both hated on CJ Stroud, and we were wrong. So
I think I was hating on the Texans more. I think, but I mean,
yeah. The Lions. Ooh, the Lions aren't far off. Like
I would say a corner. I would say corner help. I would probably say like help for the defense.
Yeah. Could you imagine how good they would be if Okudah had actually panned out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Okudah is the biggest regret.
Yeah.
Green
Bay. Yeah. Green Bay Packers. Ooh.
Green Bay
Probably
Packers
need another wide receiver.
Well, wide receiver, they should be okay. I mean,
Tom Grossi could play wide receiver.
What happens with Jair Alexander? Because he's been injury prone. Corner might be your play. Because you have Valentine, you might need a number 2 there.
Yeah, they weren't good defensively, for sure.
They were okay defensively. But once again, my question is, what happens with Jair Alexander?
The Vikings, they need a lot because of Cousins potentially.
It depends on quarterback. I would say your next biggest issue would probably be, maybe safety if Harrison Smith goes out. I would say next biggest issue would probably be just replacing bodies. And what happens with Jefferson too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jefferson is questionable.
Mm-hmm. Can they extend him?
Yeah. The Falcons, gosh. Did
you
see what Raheem Morris said?
Yeah, if they had a quarterback, he wouldn't be here. It's not just quarterback. Arthur Smith was bad too. Everyone says like, "Oh, quarterback sucks." No, it was both. It's both.
If I'm Desmond Ridder, I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm not.
Desmond Ridder is fucking. No, he'll be back. He's on a rookie contract. He'll just be a backup.
I'm just saying. Carolina Panthers. they need everything.
Everything, and probably an enema and a new owner, and we can just like it's like the Wizard of Oz. Maybe if you douse water on him, he'll melt.
Who's the new
Kill
coach?
the Wicked Witch of the East. Dave Canales, the guy from Tampa Bay, because he did work with Baker Mayfield, and they're hoping the same thing for Bryce Young.
The Saints, do you think they'll take a QB because Derek Carr is kind of washed?
Honestly, they just need to just reboot everything and just start fresh, but they're never going to.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ooh.
I would say your biggest issue right now, what happens with wide receiver with Mike Evans? Does he stay back? I would say your next biggest issue would probably be inside linebacker because Devin White's probably gone.
They won a playoff game.
And then edge rusher too, because with Shaq Barrett just getting cut.
Mm-hmm. The Arizona Cardinals need a lot.
Everything, pretty much everything except quarterback, wide receiver maybe. I mean, they're the favorites for Marvin Harrison Jr., but they need so much.
They do.
It might be wise for them to trade down.
The Rams somehow made the playoffs. I don't see how they can rely on Stafford being there for the next 3 years.
They'll bring in a guy to groom, I feel like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They'll bring in probably defensive
priest.
help. I would say it's very hot and cold.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, wide receiver, you're set. Offensive line really started to improve. It came into its own.
Okay. The 49ers.
They just need everyone to stay healthy.
They need someone to control Mike Shanahan. Yeah, the Niners don't need anything, do they?
Best player available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll just. They're gonna pick 31st. So. And
MKI Stetson Bennett. I don't know if he's gonna play. He took an indefinite leave of absence last year.
Yeah, what happened with that? That was weird.
I think it was a mental issues. I think he was having issues was something going on, and he just wanted to take care of it.
He might just come back as a coach or something. He's not going to be a starter. He's Stetson Bennett. He's a good, solid national championship winning quarterback, but is he an NFL quarterback?
Offensive line wouldn't be a bad choice.
And the Seattle Seahawks. Sorry.
They need defense. They need inside linebackers. They need interior defensive line.
Nick J.K. looks like Wilson is staying with Denver, to be honest. Interesting.
Do they want to deal with that dead cap? That's the real problem.
Yeah.
Did we skip over the Cowboys? I think we did skip over the Cowboys, which is good.
Oh, because we said the Cowboys. No, we didn't. We did not say the Cowboys.
I feel like the Cowboys, they need inside linebacker. Leighton Vander Esch might be gone.
Yeah.
You might need a tackle to replace Tyron Smith. And also maybe quarterback, because it depends on what happens with Dak. He's got 1 year left. Do you keep him around or do you try to start fresh?
Dak is going to be there because fucking Jera just loves
Would
him.
you pay $60 million a year for Dak Prescott?
Hell no.
Exactly.
Hell no.
That's what you're going to command, $60 million. Do you do
He'll
it?
get it from who, though? Who's going to give him $60 million? Jerry Jones.
Quarterback hungry team will definitely do it.
No, Jerry Jones will give him his $60 million because he's going to create this artificial demand for Dak in his head, and he'll just give it to him.
And Nick J.K. So Madame Web isn't a Marvel movie. It's Sony actively trying to make people think it's the MCU. So kind of like Morbius. Well,
Morbius was Marvel, though, right?
Well, I think it's like Sony. That's sort of like Sony Marvel.
It's Morbin time.
Well, my hilarious part was they decided to re-release it because of memes, and it did nothing.
Yeah. It was like, oh, that's cool. You guys are going to re-release it, and everyone's like, no, we're not going to see it. Remember
it's
when
we
made
just
Tom,
cared about the memes?
Remember when we made Tom go see it?
Yeah, the vampire thing. Yep, it's Morbin time.
Mm-hmm.
Always Morbin time.
Christopher Brickner. Oh no, wait.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we did that.
Yeah.
Madame Web is Sony, not Marvel.
Sony has Spider-Man film rights. MCU has former Disney leaders forced Marvel to make. So that's weird that there's Marvel, right? That was Stan Lee's shit, right? and then he just sold it like to the highest bidder or some shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the problem with Stan Lee is like his handlers forced him to do a lot of events at the end of his career, and it was kind of sad.
No, he was just old. He was like, and he'd always make a cameo in the Marvel movies, you know. He'd be some curmudgeon in line at some comic book store, and he'd be like, "I'm Stan Lee," and you'd be like, "Oh, that's fucking Stan Lee," and then he would just give his cameo, and he's always a terrible actor. Acting is hard.
Well, I mean, Stan Lee's just playing Stan Lee.
Yeah. He did have great cameos, don't get me wrong, but like you could always tell that he was like, you know, not an actor. He was Stan fucking Lee, you know. Like no one would be like, "Oh, that was a great performance." You know, it's just like, "Oh, that's fucking Stan Lee." You know.
Of course. And Detroit fans, Lions need edge, offensive guard, and corner. Yep, we said corner, so.
Yeah. Thank you, Detroit fans.
Absolutely.
All right. I think we can end early. I'm exhausted. I had a very long day.
A lot of hard day of just.
Yeah, I got up super early and, you know, I drove home. I even took a nap earlier, but kind of worn out. But the Lim Report wants to try to sneak one in here.
Yeah, buddy, nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
Marvel sold off the rights to Spider-Man and Hulk, their two most profitable properties, to Sony and Universal in the 90s as they were broke. I remember comic books were in a rough time that time.
Comic books are still then like they became like this nerdy thing, and then Comic-Con like helped it, and then you know it became cool to buy comic
Big
books.
Bang Theory. That was
what's crazy is like you go to like do you have like Second and Charles in
I don't think so, no.
They're like a big box thrift store, and you just see thousands of comic books. I'm like, oh man, all these comic books are going unread. It's sad.
Yeah, and not just that. It's like there are a bunch of them at Ollie's too. So there are a bunch of like that's a lot of that stuff for sale there too.
There's so many books not being read,
and it's just like a lot of like rough comics that are just like nobody buys them and they just get sold wholesale just to get rid of them.
Yeah, it's beautiful artwork that no one ever looks at, you know. Dr. Hotel Mario. Packers needs are in somewhat particular order: cornerback, safety, inside linebacker, interior O-line, and running back. Yeah, they could use a running back.
Big things.
But yeah, the Jair Alexander is kind of iffy there. All right. Do you have any final thoughts? What do you got coming out?
Well, Stuart Quaid, thanks for the stream. The smell of fresh baby diapers in the dumpster fire. Very fresh. I mean, I got a Columbus Blue Jackets video coming out in the next few minutes.
Awesome. Oh, you're going to release it tonight.
Yep.
I have the most cursed sports city in. What do you think is the most cursed sports city?
Minneapolis.
Of all time. No.
Really?
I did the most cursed sports state already, and I did Minnesota. But what about the city? What city is the worst?
Buffalo.
Nope.
Phoenix.
Yep, it is Phoenix. Very good. Christopher Brickner, FYI, Madam Web is from the writers of Morbius. Oh, well, these guys don't even try.
Right. Well,
Cleveland won a championship. Phoenix hasn't won a championship since 2001, and everyone else has sucked. So, yes.
I mean, when will the MLB predictions come out? Probably in the next week or two, I would say. A lot going on there.
All right. Thank you all. Love you. I'm exhausted. I'm going to, go to bed.
Go pass out, smoke a bowl, and then pass the fuck out.
Go, go troll some dating sites and maybe,
Yeah. How many championships do they have across all the leagues? I know Minnesota has 2. The Twins have 2.
That's it. The Twins, and the last one was 1992, dude.
Yeah.
Like, there's no.
T-Wolves have none. Wild have none. North Stars have none.
Wild haven't even come close. Okay.
They haven't made it past. They made
it
to the third round once.
T-Wolves have made it to the conference finals one time. When they
Vikings
they let. Yeah, and the Vikings are the Vikings, but the Twins won 2 world championships a long time ago. All right, thanks to the mods for holding it down. Thanks for all the supers. We love you. Yes, we will see you on Thursday.
Yeah, buddy.
Later.
Well, here's some stories about the combine.
Whoop,
whoop.
Oh, yeah, we don't count the links.
Do we?
Love you. No.